You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Viall Files Bachelor Recap Edition. Finale edition? I don't know. It's like, I think it was just Recap Edition. I'm Nick. I'm your host, joined by Allie, Amanda, and Derek, the household, and our special guest today to help us break down the craziness that was Monday night. Ashley Gavin, the very hilarious comedian, joins us. Also, as we always say, big Bachelor fan. Welcome. Thanks for being with us.
This is the greatest day of my life. I've been holding it in this whole time. As a gay woman, to be in this environment, I feel that I got to the popular table in high school, and I'll be your honorary straight tonight. I'm just like so fucking excited. Let's go.
We are excited to have you. How long you been watching the show?
Oh my God, forever. At least 10 years. Like, since college, I think I really got into it.
What got you into it, and what's your favorite thing about it?
I just love, as a gay person, I just love watching straight culture. For me, it's sort of like a sports draft, like the NFL draft of who's gonna be the most dateable and get out of their small town and make it to Los Angeles. And like I just love the archetypes of the different types of people that go onto the show. But I do, at the end of the day, I'm saying all of this, but I get heavily invested. You just get invested. You fall in love with certain people. You want to see them again and again. You know the feelings are real in many cases. It's just great TV.
Yeah. Well, we like it. We like breaking it down. Do you enjoy, which of the kind of staple shows, Bachelor, Bachelorette, Paradise, is your favorite?
You have to like Bachelor best because you get to watch all the women in the house. And me as a lesbian, I'm like, okay, well, which of these girls are bisexual and hooking up with each other? There was a lot of sapphic stuff going on this season. The internet is talking about it.
I think, it comes out more and more, I think.
As we progress as a society.
Yeah. I'm on my season,
someone
she
came
talked
out
about
to you as bisexual. Yeah. I thought that was huge. I thought that was so cool, and you reacted so well.
I think that might have been the first one, and then obviously Demi in Paradise. But what's her name? From New Orleans,
Jamie.
Yes, very wonderful person. And
I love how, based on my quick Google, the first headline is Nick from The Bachelor gay?
Great. Awesome.
There's one for everybody, though.
I feel like I really messed up. Like, one of my second TikToks I ever posted with you, instead of using they pronouns, like I wrote "you can't change him" and it featured you. And it was right after JoJo Siwa came out. And so there were a few comments that was like, is Nick Viall gay? Like, the internet was already in a frenzy. And I was like, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my job because I accidentally outed my boss who is straight. And this is how I go.
I don't
Queer
remember.
baiting.
I wasn't,
Yeah.
Obviously, I wasn't too concerned. Did you tell me about that?
What?
Did you tell me about that?
I mean, it's probably on your profile somewhere deep down.
It's from the I can't change him one.
I don't remember. Either way,
Oopsie.
well, I'm still here. Yeah. Last night, Monday night
Fever dream.
for us. It was intense.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to do any other topics before we get into Bachelor? Wait, yeah. Before we get into the episode,
Do some batch tea. Okay.
I'm also excited that Ashley's here, so I'm a little discombobulated. So
That's so nice. I don't believe you for a second, but that's so nice.
I'm usually a machine when I'm on track. I
he
don't
is
bounce
pretty.
around.
Yeah.
So
Boom,
I don't know what it is. Maybe
Do you want me
it's
to
not,
stop talking?
No.
I'm on one
makes my
Bachelor
job-
Recap episode. I'm like, Nick Viall is telling women to stop talking.
I can see the headlines now.
Yeah, me too. All right, what are we getting
some
into?
batch tea?
We got some tea, sure.
Yeah. Well, The Bachelor's changing. So The Bachelor creator Mike Fleiss is parting ways with the mega dating franchise he launched more than 2 decades ago.
How does it read when they say parting ways? That
Yes.
sounds cryptic.
Yes. So it says that Variety has learned. We're hearing from Variety's POV.
Oh, well, I'm assuming this is written by our friend of show, Elizabeth Wagmeister?
Correct, it is.
Okay.
Woo. Fleiss will be replaced by new showrunners, Freeland, Jason and Bennett Grabner, all of whom have long-term ties to The Bachelor. Bachelor.
Bennett's been with the show for a while. The other
Yeah.
two, my understanding is one was a producer of Bachelor Canada, and one was a producer of The Bachelor like a decade ago.
Yeah.
And then got rehired.
So Fleiss issued a statement to Variety, who then said, "First and foremost, congratulations are in order for Zach and Katie. I wish them a long and happy life together. I want to thank WBTV and ABC for 21 extraordinary years. They found the perfect creative team for me to entrust the Bachelor franchise and keep this lightning in a bottle bold and moving forward. Let the journey continue."
God.
Sounds like a date card.
I don't know anything, but it sounds like he got fired.
Well, I'm curious from the inside as someone who's like been contestant lead, like where would you say Mike Fleiss's like influence lies with his role or former role on the show?
Well, he's the creator of the show. So my understanding is he owns the IP. So even if he left, like he's, as they say, like left the show's like creative.
They've found the perfect
in my like
creative
generation, he wasn't around very much. He was like living in Hawaii. Again, as the kind of creator of the show, he's had a lot of power, is my understanding, and kind of came and went when he pleased, so to speak. He wasn't like running the day-to-day operations. And so for him to like leave, it's not like he was showing up at an office every day.
Yeah.
So like it was more of a at his leisure. Like he still owns the IP, so like he's still like cashing checks. Like he's still good in that department. But like their only reason for them to do this, like he's not.
Maybe he did something wrong.
It seems like he got fired because like otherwise, why would he resign? Like he would resign their position. Like there's other people who like he doesn't run the day to day.
He was like the king, and then the other producers were like
there
the
was no
prime
reason
ministers.
for him to say, I no longer want this role, that my roles and responsibility were for me to like show up at my convenience.
Yeah, say
and
yes,
give
no,
input
yes,
at
no.
my
Yeah.
convenience and don't, I need you to run this show without me. But if I call you and give you some input, you have to take my call.
Right.
But like logically, it just doesn't make sense that he would resign this role, which was, I get to do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, it sounds lovely.
Right?
And just get a
chill in
paycheck.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
So like, to me, this is Warner Brothers, who is owned by Discovery, who works with ABC. Somewhere in that, the decisions were made where like, we no longer want your input. So just go home and we'll just send you your money.
I don't think guys like this, I mean, I don't know a lot of guys like this, but they don't seem to give up power easily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Exactly.
gracefully.
Yeah. And especially this guy. This show was created 20 years ago, right? By these kind of, now older white dudes, right? Who have their version of what falling in love means,
Mm-hmm.
like what romance means, what is sexy, what's a turn on, what is considered chivalrous, what dating etiquette.
Yeah.
And they're ultimately have been the ones like, and they've had other producers and they've had, the producers I'm friends with are, they could have that fairly high up, and they're more on the ground floor. There's so many people, like hundreds of people work for the franchise, right? A lot of people, most of us never meet. But the people who were really high up were just, these now older white guys who like still ultimately the buck stopped with them on like who was the leads and all these things. And like often a common complaint of the show, and I'm curious what you think, is like it doesn't kind of keep with the times. And I know I said it on the show and people lost their minds because I was, a polarizing bachelor myself, but like they haven't had a likable bachelor in forever.
Yeah, it's been a really long time.
It's not just because they're casting shitty men. It's, I think, the structure of the show and the positions they're put in and the show hasn't evolved with the times, but the audience has evolved.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not even a lot of the hard stuff, which is like, gender and sexuality. A lot of it is just like, I love the seasons where I can actually see emotional people like being real, and the whole it's a journey and like the behind the curtain stuff. Like, I don't want the curtain. I want no curtain. I want what's his name? Colton jumping over the fence. That's what I want. I want all of that batshit insanity that can be, comes along with love sometimes, especially when it's on TV. That's what I want. And that's where I think they kind of, this season, it felt a little like stiff, you know?
Interesting. Because I felt like
Until Fantasy Suites. Until
Okay.
Fantasy Suites. When
You like when things go off the rails.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
see some batshit crazy stuff. And
so.
you
You
know,
loved Clayton's season.
I adored Clayton's season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I want to see people fucking up.
same. Yeah. No,
She's
it
like,
was,
give me someone who's missing their press-on nails, sobbing on a staircase.
but I love you the most.
I want the hair extensions on the floor.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what was fascinating that I couldn't believe they let go on air was, did we find out if it's Ariel? Because I listened to
Ariel.
Ariel.
When she called it an open relationship,
We talked about that with her yesterday.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited to hear that conversation. That was, first of all, Jewish representation on the show. Haven't seen that.
Woo!
Holy shit. That was awesome. And New York City, like I'm from New York. But when she called it an open relationship with rules,
Yeah.
that was, I thought, the most advanced thing that I'd ever
Mhm.
seen on the show. And I loved it.
Couldn't agree more. We talked about that with her yesterday. Yeah, because I asked her, and I don't know if she, but to my knowledge, from my time being involved, it's the first time I've heard it referenced that way, which is also comical because it's so obvious what it is. But the show is notorious for pretending
Yes.
that it's normal.
Yes.
And it's such a traditional show with very traditional dating values and a very traditional audience. And the term open relationship is the opposite of all.
Well, it kind of gets
That.
into what we're struggling with as Americans. Like, if it's a if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, this is a polyamorous show. Period. There's no way around that.
Yeah.
But like, they're so traditional that they've become like a polyamorous show, but then they don't want to call it. Like, it's like this weird, like, woke circle. I don't know, or the horseshoe politics where you go so far to one side, you pop out on the other. Just call it what it is.
But I also have to wonder, like, if like the polyamory community is like, hey, hold on a second, like,
I'm
don't
sure.
drag our name through the mud
Maybe.
here, because like,
Who knows?
not necessarily in
They'd
terms,
be stoked.
but
I
just in
think they'd be
terms of the
stoked.
like the idea of it's like it's a relationship only in like it's only a relationship in service of monogamy versus like legitimizing open relationships as like a good thing on their own.
Right.
is the angle that I can
Yes.
imagine them taking.
Yeah.
But I
that's
think
true.
it's also one of those things too where it's even just, yeah, even if you're searching for monogamy, oftentimes when you start dating someone, you know that they're probably dating other people. You don't know each other that well. But even if it's, talking about if you're sleeping with other people or whatever, like, I think Ariel's whole point was it's about open communication and whatever boundaries and parameters you set, whatever works for you guys as a couple. If it's, okay, sleep with whoever you want, but don't sleep with them more than once. If it's don't sleep with anyone, like whatever your rules are, so long as those rules, like if those change in any way, you owe it to your partner, regardless of your situation, to let them know that it's changed.
Well, it's the whole premise that you can be in an open relationship and still have an affair or cheat on your partner.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
one has
Exactly.
nothing to do with the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in not using that word, like that term to describe it, it's like it makes the Bachelor like the separate thing where it's like, oh, well, it's the Bachelor. Like it's such a weird situation.
It's kind of fascinating how the franchise itself has been able to kind of avoid being connected
Yeah.
with open relationships until Ariel.
Do you think that it would make this because there's a high, I was listening to your last episode and you were talking about the high rate of failure with couples and like the emotional connections that they had with other people and sleeping with other people while on the show. Do you think if they just like addressed the open relationship thing and like were more communicative about it, that maybe the success rate would be higher?
No, I don't know. Because maybe it's just all, I think it has, they're still casting relatively young people.
Right.
From relatively conservative parts of the country. They're starting to branch off. There's been more like coastal representation because they usually would pull like, Nashville, Chicago, the South
yes.
is 60% of their cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of like early 20-year-olds
Right.
are having like, some maybe, but like I think it's more like an advanced, I've been fucking for like 20 years and I'm divorced and like I just need to spice it up. Like, yeah, fuck it, open relationships.
Right,
I get
right.
it. I don't know if it's going to help the success rate just because I think that would just come down to the individual people on the show and their point of views on sex and dating. And that's a huge spectrum of,
Right.
of what that means to everyone. For those people who have chosen to sleep with two, or in Zach's case, sleep with one, and I'll say this, Zach is not the first Bachelor, and I won't say who, who didn't sleep with their winner but slept with others. Yeah, so it's not as rare as you might think.
Do you interpret that as they had the mentality of one last hurrah
Gotta
before
get it
I get
done.
wifed, or I don't know, and this was a means of figuring it out?
I think, again, it's a spectrum. I think the last hurrah is definitely something a lot of people have taken advantage of. I think in other cases, not everyone is like, they're like, yeah, if you want to fuck me, you have to propose to me. Like, if you want to fuck other people this weekend, great. But like, if you don't pick me, I don't want you to be on my resume, so to speak, kind of thing. And so they might say no. And where someone else was like, I don't know if you're going to pick me, but I am down to fuck,
Right.
Which also is very common.
It might almost be lower stakes for both. Maybe if there's something, I've never been in this position, but I imagine if there's a part of me that deep down knows I'm not going to be with this person, and maybe they know it too. Maybe it's just easier to have a physical connection.
Yeah. Well, what's really interesting, what I think would be helpful is what Ariel suggested, which is what Zach didn't do. Now, what's not talked about is, I know this much. Zach, while he is an adult and he is responsible for his choices, he was immersed in a very intense atmosphere without any lifelines or resources to a support system. And I don't think he got an ounce of good advice, including Jesse Palmer, who's always like, I'm with you every step of the way.
Actually, is the host, I'm sorry, I'm like fangirling right now. Is the host actually supposed to provide guidance?
No.
If that would be the last I would find a stranger in the street. I would find someone trying to stalk the Bachelor set and be like, hey, should I fuck this person? Before I ask either Chris Harrison or Jesse Palmer for romantic advice.
Any Uber driver in America has given me better romantic advice from the 15 minutes that I've been like, and then this happened.
Who's
the guy driving the goodbye van. I would run into that and be like, hey.
Yeah, the guy whose job depends on, ratings and drama. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That's a great point.
Spring is upon us. We are all coming out of hibernation. So we didn't want to look exhausted like we're still hibernating. We want to look refreshed. We want to look bright. We want to look ready to take on the warm weather. And you know what's going to help you do that? The wonderful Ocean Eye Serum from Osea.
Osea. I'm telling you guys, Osea is the brand you want to be putting on your skin to make sure that your skin stays as vibrant and as supple as you want it to. I love it. We love it, and my sister Maria loves it. And I say that, as I mentioned last time, I've never met a person who's more self-aware of what she puts in and on her body as my sister Maria, the holistic nutritionist, and she raves about Osea. It's the only brand that she uses. She will not leave me alone trying to get more Osea sent her way because she can't get enough. Osea's Ocean Eye Serum checks all the boxes for us. It brightens, smooths, depuffs, and awakens the entire eye area. Look at my eyes. Look at if you're anyone watching on YouTube. They're amazing.
You look like you got like 14 hours of sleep.
I'm gorgeous. Osea has been making seaweed-infused products that are safe for your skin and the planet for over 27 years. All their products are clean, vegan, cruelty-free, climate neutral, powered by seaweed, and conceived in California. So you never have to choose between values and your best skin. Spring into the most radiant skin yet with clean, vegan skincare and body care from Osea. And you get 10% off your first order site-wide with code TVF. That's code TVF at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order and free shipping on orders over $60. So head to OseaMalibu.com. That's OSEA Malibu.com and use code T as in Tom, V as in Victor, F as in Frank for 10% off.
This past weekend, I had a Sunday fun day, and it was one for the books. We started out with 4 of us, right? It was just going to be a lovely, easy brunch. But then we wanted to include the entire gang, and I decided to host, and I had 5 more people show up at my apartment, but they have a variety of preferences. Some people like whiskey. Some people can only drink wine. Some people like tequila. And you know what I had to do? You know what I got to do? Order with Drizly, because I was not going to leave. I was hosting the party. I was trying to make everyone feel at home, but I wanted them to feel at home by me having their favorite beer, wine, and spirits when they walked in the door.
Drizly is the most convenient way to buy beer, wine, and spirits with delivery right to your doorstep in under 60 minutes. It's the #1 delivery app for alcohol. That's right. Download the Drizly app or go to drizly.com.
For me, why spend more on something than I need to? And one of the things that is awesome about Drizly is I can look at all the various liquor stores. I can find my exact brand of wine that I want, spirit, whatever it is, and I can price compare and then decide where to order from so I'm getting the best value. Makes so much sense.
Whew, it's so amazing. Like Allie said, like, it's just so convenient. I've been to so many parties where you have to like play paper, rock, scissors, or someone's got to be like, I'll go to the grocery store. Or like maybe you're with the love of your life and it's a rainy, dreary night. You just want to stay in and cuddle, and you're like, let's have a glass of wine. And you're like, we don't have any wine, babe. Well, now you just have to go to Drizly and get the wine, whatever you want. And they have such a selection of all different types of beer, wine, and spirits that it will blow your mind. So again, download the Drizly app or go to drizly.com. That's DRIZLY.com and get Drizly, the #1 app for alcohol delivery. That being said, it's just like I don't think Zach got any good advice. And
Sean was ridiculous.
yeah, point and take. Sean Lowe, what the fuck? Maybe check in on like if they subscribe to all the other things that you subscribe to before you start lecturing them on their sex. So what I think would be helpful for the show is what Ariel suggested, which is what she wanted Zach to do, which is like, yeah, if you want to talk about like sex, even if you want to do it on camera, which was kind of stupid, like let's talk about it. But like, let's have a conversation.
Yes.
Zach had every right to say, listen, I know sex is like part of this week. For me, I'm not comfortable with the idea of like sleeping with people I've only known for 8 weeks and dating 3 people. What do you think about it?
Right.
What are your expectations? And so if the lead's starting having these conversations on camera with all 3 contestants, which was just like, what do you think about this week? How would you like to use this time? I'm the Bachelorette, like I'm dating 2 other people. Ultimately, I have to make my own choices, but like, what are your expectations of me?
How do you want me to communicate about this? We saw with Katie, she was like, I didn't want to fucking know that.
I don't want to set false expectations, but like, how that would be fascinating.
What level of disclosure?
It would be so great and healthy for people to see people having those conversations and knowing that it's okay to have those conversations.
Yeah, but I suspect they won't because while healthy, I think it would make for really interesting TV, like definitely the first time, but I suspect, I could be wrong, that the powers that be won't want to make it a staple of the show because it will eliminate, mixing it up and the confusion and all the drama that comes with this week and all the different ways
You're
that it's been handled.
To my lizard brain that wants.
Yeah. So the fan in you, like, wants the producers to be like, not give away that card to play.
Right.
The mental health advocate in you,
right.
Thinks it's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
Can you imagine like a big super tease for the season where it's like, and fantasy suites, and it's like, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I'm glad we communicated. Like, can you imagine like the super tease, but it's like everything done in a
You'd be like, oh, well, fuck.
But will we see that potentially with Charity as our next Bachelorette being the family and marriage therapist?
Also, another fascinating
or child and family therapist, either way.
Here's another thing. So much about this week, we definitely know was Zach responding to Clayton being the Bachelor.
Yes.
And all that fallout. Charity has no idea, certainly about AFR. She's filming. She's off the grid. And I'm pretty sure she's been off the grid since Fantasy Suite. So this might not have impacted her decision at all, but it won't, because I don't think she's aware of the drama that happened this season. So she won't be, oh, well, Zach fucked up here, and things like that. So it'll be interesting. It would be fascinating if she made the same mistake, which was like, hey, I just want to be upfront. I don't want to have sex this week. I want to set that expectation and not and do the same thing that Zach was criticized as doing. That would be kind of fascinating.
She's too classy to me. I think she's going to have those conversations in private. She's very like poised and thoughtful and intentional. So unfortunately, I think I will not get what I want this season.
That's my fear.
Totally.
Yeah.
She led a grounding exercise when like the season when there was like drama between the women. It's like this could have boiled over. This could have turned into a huge fight. And so we got grounded.
Yeah,
every time she got fucked over, she was just like not taking the bait from anybody.
Yeah, just very calm and thoughtful. Again, like we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like when Michelle Young was the Bachelorette, she would say things, and you'd go, "Wow,
yeah,
like damn,
I'm definitely going to take that advice." You know, like
totally.
Thanks. And then you're also like, you know, like
yeah.
Mix it, you know. So
I want to see your trauma. I want to see your scars.
Yeah, I don't want to see you perfectly control a classroom of grown
listen,
men.
if the producers are doing their job, they will find someone in this, you know, great country of ours, and someone who they think, or at least a couple of suitors that Charity would be attracted to, who has recently or in the past cheated on their partner.
Yeah. I mean,
they need Charity to fall head over heels for at least one of those people. So the first one-on-one, they get Charity sympathy. You know, I've been hurt. You know, I didn't have a relationship with my dad. He never told me he loved me or whatever. And then she's falling in love. And the second date, he's just like, you know, Charity, like on a group date, you know, it comes up that she was cheated on or some shit, or, you know, and then he drops, she's in love. He drops, I need to be honest with you. Like, I know you've been cheated on and I needed to get it out. And I was waiting for the right time. But like 3 years ago, like I cheated on. That'd be, then we'll have a good season.
I need you and ChatGPT to like write your own scripts, and then we'll just like have a bunch of Sims acted out. I'd watch it.
But yeah, if they're doing their job, they will find a way to scratch that itch of whatever, you know, we all have something that triggers us.
Is there Bachelor fanfic?
What's that?
There's
gotta
be.
be.
Fanfics?
Fanfic.
Fanfiction?
Oh my God.
You're writing it right now.
Oh.
You just wrote a Bachelor fanfic.
Yay.
Yeah.
It's like fans will, based on like their favorite characters, whether it's from like books, movies, TV shows, etc., will like write their own.
They'll take it on
50 Shades of Grey was a Twilight fanfiction.
Yeah. They're usually sexual.
Yeah,
Maybe that's not
so like the wolves and the vampires
were
like doing
Edward and Bella, and then they just kind of like turned it into like Christian Grey. Yeah,
I did not know that. Huh?
After
Did you
the
know
whole
that?
After series was fan fiction about.
I know
Harry
a lot
Styles.
of unfortunate things about the internet.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I wish I knew less. I wish I could be in this body and mind, but I can't. I'm over here on the weirdo
You're in
side.
the trenches.
Yeah, I am. I'm a TikTok lesbian, dude. I know things I never wanted to know.
Oh.
No, not in a fun way.
Do you have an example?
Too much about plants. Why are...
I've gotten really into
God.
plants. I recently bought an olive tree.
Wow.
Well, in the past 3 weeks, we've bought 3 olive trees. Now he's always been a big olive tree fan. I now am as well. And and in our house where I have pretty high ceilings in our living room, and we bought a giant fucking like, I guess it's a vase. I don't know.
you like to say that word a lot. You could just say vase.
Vase?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say vase?
I guess.
Okay. Ashley.
I'm a vase. I'm a vase guy.
You're a vase guy?
Yeah.
Classic.
I want to show you it's big.
Yeah, that's huge.
And then we got an so it's like my favorite thing in the house right now. Like a nice big, well, it's not a big, but it's an olive tree.
It will be big.
It's an indoor olive tree that gets a lot of sun. But anyway, I know, so I'm into plants.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Plants, astrology.
Oh yeah.
Astrology.
Witch shit. These are all facets of the lesbian community that I wasn't a part of before, and then
but now you are.
But the internet, you can't avoid it.
Okay.
People will yell at you about this stuff on the internet.
The discourse.
Yeah, exactly. The diaspora.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on. What other tea do we have?
Yes. Okay. So Zach and Katie have been doing obviously some press since last night's episodes. Something I thought was interesting was that Zach said that his Bachelor final dates aired out of order. Now, this was noticeable because Katie went first and Gabi went second. And in 8 of the last 10 seasons, the winner is usually the second date. But in this time, Katie was the first date, and then Gabi was left with this, it's the hardest decision I'll ever make. So he's saying because they were aired out of order, actually, it made him look worse and like he was dragging Gabi along, because he said, that's the beauty of reality TV and editing. I'm not going to lie about it. I didn't know when I left the last date with Gabi. I truly didn't know. And it was the moment I saw Katie after my date with Gabi that I was like, this is my wife. There's not a doubt in my mind.
I noticed that because he said on AFR I'm using the lingo.
Yeah.
He said,
Oh yeah, sorry. We expected that. So
I've never said that in my
yeah,
life.
Okay.
But he said on AFR that it sounded like it went out of order.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, did they air those in a different order?
I
guess they must
still don't believe a fucking word of he didn't know. I'm sorry.
that's fair.
I know my experience as a bachelor is not the same. It's a unique experience, but there's no way he wasn't at least strongly leaning.
But he has a lot of guilt. He has a ton. As a person with
He
guilt,
said Catholic guilt.
you can see that
Yeah.
he has so much guilt, and maybe the guilt was like,
I could see
pulling
a
him.
world where he convinced himself he didn't know, and he believes
Right.
his own lie because he felt the guilt, and don't doubt for a second, he has a lot of love and certainly respect for Gabi, and there was a world where he just liked Katie more.
yeah.
But I don't believe for a second that if he was truly honest with himself, that he didn't know that from hometowns on.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine, and I've never done the show, but it is super hard to imagine because you can kind of see it in the show. Like, as soon as he went on that first date with Katie, I was like, this is it. This is the one
Yeah.
he's going to pick. But you also don't know if that's editing.
Yeah, and I thought he was with Gabi until the very. I would have guessed Gabi up until probably Hometown's Fantasy Suite week. Yeah. So.
And he said he was falling in love with Gabi, like during the sex week
Yeah.
fiasco.
No, I think. But falling in love
Sex
is
week fiasco.
falling in
My
love is
favorite
such
sex
bullshit.
party.
Yeah, on that show, but falling in love, such a tool. But yeah, I can believe that Zach believes it, but I think deep down it's not about he didn't know. Semantics. And I'll never be able to prove it. But I think Katie has been a clear front runner over Gabi. Just no matter how much he likes Gabi, and no matter how much he might have been falling in love or even loved Gabi, that Katie, there was always something more there when he saw Katie, and he just decided he didn't make a decision because he never actually asked himself until night one, but deep down he fucking knew.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it in his reaction to having to tell Katie about what happened with Gabi.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was a mess. I mean, he was just a total mess.
And he was prioritizing only that because it made him look bad because he didn't tell like Ariel. So he's already kind of like having this weird double standard, and then he's violating Gabi's privacy. So he risked all of that just to make sure him and Katie were like on good terms
right?
communication wise.
So, and again, like consciously, subconsciously, like fucking knew. And Gabi knew that he knew. So.
Do you have these hard conversations with I guess can't even imagine Zach sitting here and being like, you fucking knew. You
I would
fucking
love
knew.
to. I don't think at this point Zach probably won't do my podcast. Yeah, we ask some hard hitting questions, but we like to create I would probably be a little more playful. I'd probably be more like, come on.
Yeah. I just think it's fun. I apologize for lifting the
No, that's
curtain.
fine. But I also, for example, last night with Ariel, like I asked her about, she was very clear. She talked, I completely agreed with her, loved her, comments about like, you took away my agency. It's not about like, again, Zach has the right to not want to have sex. It's not about that. It's about like, you just decided and didn't even ask my opinion, So totally get that. I just think once Zach fucked up, so to speak, as he claims, and made the mistake with Gabi in the sense that he broke the promise, I get where Ariel's coming from and saying that she, and hey, we're in an open relationship, the parameters are our expectations, but like also realistically, I think we would have just had another Clayton. I think Bachelor Nation would have roasted.
Yeah. He was in a no-win
situation. So either way, you can criticize him, and it's like I don't think there's a clear answer. Like, and I guess we just have to take Ariel at her word that she would have wanted to know, rather than being like, "Why the fuck are you telling me this?"
Yeah.
But again, also it does. I think the big distinction is I'm under the assumption that once he hooked up with Gabi, that Ariel's gone home.
Yes.
And so if he was going to tell Ariel that he slept with Gabi, he would in the same conversation be like, and I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah, and that's brutal.
Yeah.
I can understand not wanting
and that
to do
seems like a big fuck you. That would be different if like, hey, I had to set an expectation with you. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm in the middle of the week, but I should have told you. And I guess now that I'm rethinking it out loud, I suppose Ariel has a point because Zach did take her to the rose ceremony and made her sit around all week, I guess you could argue that somewhere in that week, Zach should have said, "Hey, I haven't made it to this." So she makes So, but either way, he was in a no-win situation. We could definitely criticize the choice, but I don't think there's a clear he just fucked up deciding to announce it to the entire audience like some sort of hero.
Yeah,
that he wasn't going to have sex.
That's the other part of it that feels off to me, and I don't know if it's producers or Sean Lowe. Sean Lowe's actually the Dick Cheney of the Bush administration. He's running the whole thing.
No, he's actually Mike Fleiss' new replacement.
But I don't know what it was, but there's nothing heroic about making that decision. That is and while it is his decision if he doesn't want to have sex, it's just such a conversation for the couple. It's so clearly a conversation for the couple, each couple.
Well, and he kind of, as Ariel said, took away their agencies and reverted to Zach the Bachelor as opposed to Zach their boyfriend, because it wasn't a conversation. It was, you are a contestant on a show. It is my show. I will lay out the rules. Behave.
Absolutely. And it's the Streisand effect of I know that people call this sex week. It's well, now we fucking are, Zach.
Yes.
Yeah.
They did, but now we definitely are. So we have Zach to thank for that, actually.
One of my grandmother's favorite things to do when we're all home and together for the holidays is she brings out this huge thing of photos that she keeps in many different shoe boxes. And there have been times where we have spent, 15, 20 minutes waiting for Grandma Jean to find the exact photo where, she's like, I know it's your grandfather, but I don't know if it's at your aunt's wedding or your uncle's. And the great thing about Mylio, which is a smart and powerful system for managing all of your photos, videos, and important documents, is that you can search practically anything, all of these lifetime's memories by the date, by the person, by the location, by the keyword. So you're basically creating this library that is super easy for everyone in your family to find the exact important keepsake that they are looking for.
Mylio is a smart and powerful system for managing a lifetime of memories. With Mylio photo apps, years of photos, videos, and important documents across all your devices are cataloged in one shared library. Everyone in our family has access. My family just goes nuts with Mylio. They're just sending pictures and sharing, and there is no cloud storage required. Their files remain private and safe. Trust us when we say Mylio is the photo storage solution you have been looking for. We have arranged a special limited time offer for our listeners. Get 25% off your first year of Mylio when you sign up for an annual plan. To get this offer, go to my special URL. That's mylio.com/podcast25. Again, that's Mylio, mylio.com/podcast25. Get 25% off your first year at mylio.com/podcast25.
Well, I was going to say, I think we should hit on Gabi getting out of the car.
That was an iconic moment.
Iconic.
So big.
Truly iconic. To have someone in her position, having been in her position twice, to have that level of honesty with yourself, to just be I just know they're not going to pick me. And I tried to have that conversation with myself. I'll put it no, you're totally going to be it. But either way, I'm sure they were saying the same thing to her. Gabi is someone who trusts her gut. That moment told me that she, no matter what, she listens to herself and her internal feelings, because that is a world that at every angle wants you to doubt your intuition.
Yeah.
Whatever your gut tells you, and you certainly have plenty of people around you. If you're not doubting your own intuition, they'll help you.
I feel so corny. I am learning about myself right now in having this conversation.
Do tell
about. I don't want to sound too pluggy, but I'm in the middle of editing my special. I literally called them before my comedy special, and I'm so nervous about how the world is going to interpret the internet telling me what to do, and the people in the room and watching it on the screen. And I'm oh man, my gut's so good.
Yeah.
Why?
Your gut.
You can't let anyone tell you
listen
anything.
to your body.
Yeah.
Maybe you just need a little Nick Viall before it gets released.
I need
knows.
Gabi.
Well,
don't give him the credit. I need Gabi.
Gabi's the one. Again,
cute.
she's demonstrated it in that atmosphere. I just don't think that is a point that people shouldn't miss. Like that moment and what it really means, other than like, being a great friend and like selfless, but like there are plenty of runner-ups that like they just know they're not it, and they play the part of sad and disappointment, but they just fucking know. And then there are other runner-ups who are fucking devastated. And certainly Gabi is one of those devastated people. So it is not like this was an easy thing for her to just admit out loud and first to herself, but she is a person who clearly listens to her gut. So yeah.
What I absolutely loved, and you knew what her gut was feeling from when she got out of the car, and I love women. Can I just say I just fucking love women? Like only women would do this. She gets out of the car, her dress hits the mud or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, you shouldn't park here. Like, don't do this too."
She says, "Fuck no," first. And she said, that's a really muddy spot. When it actually matters, when Katie arrives, don't do that to her.
She was almost like, I know what Katie's about to happen with Katie. Don't fuck up this.
Yeah.
Don't fuck up her, like the integrity, the gut feeling. Like it was just like.
Kind of a hero moment.
She's so likable. She's so incredibly likable.
I think this is a hot take. And the only wrinkle in this take is that they did start filming prior to the finale. But these people can make adjustments. But based off of seeing the finale and how gut-wrenching that goodbye was and how likable Gabi is and just how funny and open, she has so many of the qualities that they love in a bachelorette. And not to take anything away from Charity, I'm sure she'll be wonderful. How much drama, I don't know. But like everyone I've talked to loves her, has nothing but nice things to say to her. That being said, and knowing that Gabi is and I've heard as much, is still like messed up about this and still not fully healed from this experience, that they offered her the Bachelorette and she turned it down. There's just no way they wouldn't. There's just no way. Or the only reason they didn't offer it to her is because they knew that she's still heartbroken. And the fact that she's heartbroken as bad as they wanted her to be, the Bachelorette, that her story wasn't done being told because AFR is part of the season and they couldn't sell someone ready for love given how distraught she was. But like, there is just no way she wouldn't have been the Bachelorette if she was emotionally ready to be the Bachelorette and wanted to be the Bachelorette. I just don't see how that's not possible with that. She pitched a perfect game last night.
Yeah.
She was incredible.
It was unreal. She's so wonderful.
She has this like X factor of authenticity where like I don't even know how to put it into words or exactly why, but it's like I just really believe her. Yes. And like it's like you see the wheels turning in her mind in real time, and it's just like it's like tell it like it is, kind of unfiltered. Like she's not trying to curate her version of reality based on what she thinks is palatable. She's just like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and
Charity,
it's
so rare.
Yeah, Charity seems like the person who's smart enough and emotionally regulated enough and educated enough to like have a thought, process it, and be like, well, this is what I want to say, but this sounds better and won't offend anyone, and like will get my point across the same way, and which is totally a wonderful quality as well. It's just like not as fun.
Good person, excellent person.
Yes,
not necessarily the best TV.
So, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we might learn a lot more about Charity. Certainly, we certainly hope, and other people have surprised us. Not everyone was on board with the Hannah Brown choice, and I actually
same
was,
reason.
but a lot of people weren't, and she ended up being arguably the most entertaining and best Bachelorette of all time. So.
The only thing I find interesting is because we've heard how upset Gabi is and how maybe that's the reason that she wasn't ready to be the Bachelorette and she's devastated and she doesn't want to talk about all this. But I also find it interesting that Katie has said today, actually, that she and Gabi are still very close friends. They've gone on trips together. A lot of the girls came to Austin for the premiere, including Gabi, Ariel, Jess, and Mercedes. They're all going on a girls' trip at the end of April. So I just find it a little interesting. I'm like, if you're that devastated, but you're flying to Austin to see your ex's fiance to watch the premiere together.
You can't be that fucked up about it, I suppose.
Or you're in the phase of fucked up where you just want to scratch, like you want to pick at the scab.
Yes, I was going to say. I also think she's just like a brave person. She just seems to like, I don't know. She really liked Katie on this season. You know, they seem to be actually pretty solid.
They had their
friends.
bubble baths.
Yes, the bubble bath. I live for the bubble bath scene.
Mm-hmm. They were dancing at the witchy scene. All the outtakes at the end of the episodes were just the two of them.
Yeah. Hanging out, having fun. But yeah, no, I think I really relate to Gabi just on an emotional level, and I could see why, like, I'm not going to lose a friend just because I lost a partner.
Yeah, she could be torturing herself. I don't think she's that good of an actor.
No, I don't think so either.
And
She's
she
very
looked
authentic.
really messed up about the whole thing last night. So
Well, and it was also, I mean, the premiere, she doesn't know at this point how much has been disclosed on national television about her sex life. Like, she said it's been so much worse watching it back because she didn't know the full magnitude of like what was shared and out in the open.
I'll be honest, I was a little confused by that just because like
if they
Zach told her on camera she was mic'd, there were at least 2 cameras around her.
But maybe the conversation, it was hard for me to tell whether she was more upset about the TV aspect or the talking to other women aspect, because I think both are pretty important.
But also Katie at the rose ceremony said, I know you slept with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I just a little confused by what Gabi meant by that, because we know that Katie told her that
I know you were the one.
you know you were the one. We know that Gabi knew she was being recorded because there were cameras in the room and she is on a TV show. So I'm just like, what does she mean by not realizing?
So the quote from AFR is, I wish you'd warned me you were going to use my name and tell everyone what happened. In the hotel room, it was, I don't want there to be secrets, but it was never, hey, this is what happened and it was with Gabi.
Yeah, I think it's about telling the other women in that case.
And
it's
I
salt
think
in the wound.
maybe she thought like he would kind of share like my expectations, like, you know, just kind of vague, keep it kind of like private.
But that quote doesn't really, because the debate is Gabi saying, I found out when everyone else found out.
Last week.
It's not the frustration with his choice to, do that. We all kind of agree that she has the right to be upset about that. It's just more, I don't get what she means by she didn't know.
I think she's talking about the specifics of my name and tell everyone what happened. So it seems to me that she's saying like, I thought he would keep it anonymous, as saying like I had an intimate relationship with someone.
I guess he could. I guess he did actually have the opportunity to be like, it went a little further than I wanted it to go. And it doesn't necessarily imply sex. It could be, it could be any type of sex.
But also, if she didn't know until last week, let's say she didn't know that the other women knew or that he said it on the show, how do you go on a girls' trip with Katie, who's recently engaged?
Yeah, I don't buy it. I'm
knowing
sorry.
that you've slept with her fiance, thinking she doesn't know.
It doesn't, yeah. I mean, love Gabi, and I don't really care, but I also don't.
I have questions.
I have questions about that particular
I think it's probably
truth.
more of how it was handled, and maybe she's not articulating it in that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think it was more about how it was handled.
Yeah, like I didn't get the full scope of how fucked up
Yeah.
you burned me.
The Catholic guilt is so insane, the way he was confessing. Like, I was zooming in on his childhood. I was seeing
he was going to do the act of contrition.
Yeah.
He was ready.
Hail Marys were coming.
Yeah.
Listen, well, again, he made so many bad mistakes. I really, as tough as I've been on Zach, and when we talk about the show, we're not criticizing people. We don't know the people. They're on an edited TV show. We're criticizing the behaviors and we reserve judgment. But it's just he fucked up. But Zach, from everything I've heard through multiple people, he is, including Ariel, he is a well-intentioned, nice guy who is a high character who, certainly has a lot to learn, might be a little ignorant in other departments, but just the nastiness that people will speak about who he is as a person is nuts to me. And again, in an environment where he got no good advice.
Yeah, Sean Lowe's not like, hey, manage your religious trauma.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sean Lowe's like, we need to instill more religious trauma.
Yeah. And so
Sean Lowe's like, open up your shirt. Let me scrub that chest for you, bad boy.
Either way, I doubt Gabi wanted Zach to feel anything but amazing about that experience. And the fact that he doesn't, I'm sure made her self-conscious.
Yeah.
Well, and it sounds like she felt so blindsided because in the moment he was feeling amazing about the experience. She alluded in after the final rose to talking about how they talked about insecurities and aspirations, how they got deep on mental health and emotional health. So it seems like they really did have this connected, transformative
It
night.
sounded really nice. Yeah.
She said the physical intimacy conversation was 5 minutes of their entire night or something along those lines. And then he sealed it with a kiss on the back of the head and said, no one will know. And then he told America.
I don't think he said no one will know. He said,
said,
"This
Our
is
little
between
us."
Yeah.
Which actually sounds dirtier. Ugh.
Yeah.
This is just between us.
It's like a drug deal.
Ugh.
That's so rough, though. That's so the
That's
the
a bad-
transition from between us to I need to tell God about
Yeah.
this.
God and Sean
God in
Lowe.
America.
God, one and the
Yeah.
same.
It's-
Some would say.
Sean
But
Lowe
it is
comes in with
really, it
vestments.
is really fucked up that if he did tell Gabby, this is just between us. Like,
But that's what I think that she was like. Maybe it's getting muddled in the timeline, but I think that's what she's upset because he really actually could have said, I went further than I intended to with someone. And I have to keep it between all of that between me and that person. And that could have been it.
I'm
Literally.
guessing he got the worst advice that week.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, you should definitely tell everyone.
I would have
And you
just
should
taken
tell
a
him it's
plane
Gabby.
home.
And I have no reason to know this for sure, but
Take her to the rainiest part of the forest where she's going to be the most uncomfortable, where her feet are in water, and
tell
then
her
say,
there. Yeah.
No escape.
But
Do you think I should tell Ariel?
She's leaving.
she's smart. What did you guys think of Zach and Katie on AFR? Like, what vibes were you picking up? Do you feel like they're
Whatevs. You know.
Yeah, it was kind of bland. I do love it though when a pick will roast the Bachelor. Doesn't happen the other way. Just
When the pick
to be
will
a male rights activist right now.
Thanks, yeah.
Just to flip it for you. Doesn't happen a lot. You don't see a lot of the men roasting the Bachelorettes for their mistakes, but you do
Never.
see the
No.
do see the Bachelorettes being like, "Well, you were kind of a fucking tool."
No.
You know, like
Women tell all, men tell all. They all stand up and applaud the Bachelorette. It's just like
it's like they salute.
women tell all. It's like,
Yes.
fuck you. I deserve
shit.
better. I deserve someone who loves me. You know. Like,
it is sort of like the airing of the patriarchal grievances
Yeah.
at the women tell all. I'm for it.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. You know. But it is.
After centuries of being yelled at, how the tides have turned. What did we think about, like, they did talk about kind of like logistics about moving to Austin, how Zach is going to move to Austin in the summer.
So did he live there and move home?
Yeah, it
or,
sounded like-
everyone keeps saying he lived in Austin.
They're gonna like live in New York for a while.
I think they're going to New York.
Gotta get
Where
that-
are they?
Got to get that influence money. You know, got to be in
Oh
the.
yeah. Oh yeah. I think so. It said they're going to New York shortly after, and then he said, "I'm packing up all my stuff and moving to Austin this summer."
This summer. Okay.
So it sounds by saying I'm packing up all my stuff and moving to Austin, it implies that
Yeah, where is
I've
he?
heard they're doing well. They're very much in love. So we'll see. They do seem like a good fit.
Yeah,
You know.
it should be boring. I think
Yeah.
yeah.
if Gabby ended up with Zach, you'd be like, "There's a lot to deal with before you guys can." There's probably the damage I think was done.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
unrestorative.
And I do think
Restorable.
he is well intentioned, and I think he certainly showed humility. You know, he apologized for as much as he could. And he's not the best apologizer.
He does like to
As-
do it though.
Yeah.
Well, interesting enough, when we had Ariel, like before we started recording, she mentioned that she noticed even while filming that he rarely, if ever, apologized. He would
Oh,
be like,
really?
he would recognize his mistake and been like, yeah, I could have handled it better and I shouldn't have done that, but often wouldn't apologize.
There's a stat about that women will apologize for less, and men it takes a higher threshold to actually like.
And to that end, like if nothing else, even if he is a high character, well-intentioned, nice guy, Zach is like the definition of a guy. He is
Yeah,
just
he's a
such a
He's
dude.
a dude.
Yeah,
You know, like he is so guy
Doot,
in
doot,
the
doot.
most guy
Yeah, I
way.
feel like
So
I just, like,
every guy stereotype I think applies
yeah,
to Zach, even the nice ones.
yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't think he strays outside just like, you know, if aliens come down and say like, let me see your most man,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, your most basic, ordinary man,
What does he do for a living?
Zach will come out, sell software. So did I.
Zach apologizes the way like I like reach for my purse on a first date with a man, you know, where it's like, oh, do you want me to, like when the check comes, like I feel like
But
he
you never
sort of
quite reach it. He never quite says, I'm sorry.
he
It's like,
talks about
"It
the
was a hard
concept of
decision."
apologizing, but he doesn't actually say I'm sorry.
right.
You know?
Yeah.
But either way, I think he's a well-intentioned, nice guy. And Katie and him, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I think Zach's open to taking a note. I don't know if Zach's a good communicator, but I think Katie is.
Yeah, she is.
I think Zach's humble enough to, and it seems like he has, good parents who at least nothing else. Like
he's got an apron
Yeah.
that says "Happy wife, happy life."
yes,
Oh.
100%.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes,
He's that.
exactly.
He's not necessarily like following through on it, but the concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when he's in trouble, he's he'll subscribe to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And things like that.
It's like a passive. You're not really taking in what's happening, but you're like, okay, you can win the fight, type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't shock me if they work out. Yeah. So
I think Katie's bisexual. Just to drop a bomb into that.
What's giving it away?
There was just a lot of physical moments on the season, like between the women that I was like, this is more than I've ever seen, and a lot of them, Katie was in them.
Theory.
Maybe just physical touch.
The reason Gabby is so upset is not to do
That's
with
oh my
Zach.
fucking
Yes.
god! Great
It's
theory.
because her girlfriend
Now-
is engaged to a
Now,
man.
I just
Nick,
need- I
this
feel
is
like I need-
lesbian fanfic.
I feel like
what we're doing right
I
now.
need a disclaimer here that these are the opinions of my guests and not me.
Listen, I'm projecting. I would like Katie to be gay.
I'm manifesting.
Let's just right. I'm vision boarding live right now. So this is not based on anything real other than my incredibly accurate gaydar.
Do you have a good one?
Oh, I have a great gaydar.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will say you have to meet someone in person.
Okay.
You cannot do it through the screen. You have to meet them in
Nothing
person.
would be more awesome than a Gabby and Katie love affair
That would be.
and the catalyst for the demise of Zach and Katie. That would be
God.
awesome.
We go back and the lip syncing for Katie was not, I know you were the one.
Yeah, you
Is,
go
I know
back.
you are the one.
All the Easter eggs you'd look for and shit like that.
I'm just messing around.
Yeah.
It's not nice to actually speculate about people's sexuality, and if I actually thought this was serious, I would not be speculating. It is totally unfounded, ungrounded, projecting my fantasies.
But man, they'd have beautiful
But it's a
babies.
happy fantasy. That's a real fantasy suite right there.
And you know what? In lesbian fashion, they probably wouldn't have sex. They would probably just talk about their feelings all night.
Totally. Sharing an ex.
And
Rich.
they move
Gay?
in together.
Sharing an ex, super
Very
gay.
gay.
People do fall in love on that show. Even straight people.
Yeah.
You're just sharing feelings and spending all your time with each other. That's why a gay lead would just be so difficult to pull off
What do you mean?
because no one would remember who the lead is.
Oh, yes.
You know, it's just like if I were like Paradise, it'd be Paradise.
Right.
But
Right.
everyone would be an option.
Right. Exactly.
And then it would all these good-looking people who are spending all this time with each other,
Yes, totally.
talking about their feelings. They would literally not give a shit about. And the truth is, every season everyone acts like, oh, Zach. Every woman is just like Zach's the best. And while Zach, I'm sure, has all these great qualities, I think some of them truly fell in love with him. Some of them genuinely liked him. Other people convinced themselves they liked him because it's like we're here.
You're at summer camp.
And it's literally the only guy you're seeing.
He's
and
the hot guy at
He's in
summer
a
camp.
position of
Totally.
power.
Yeah.
He has the control. It's not hard to fall in love with these people. And then, but at a bar,
Right.
I don't think none of the people show up head over heels for the lead, so it's just not their type. In a house full of all these options, I just think it would just logistically. But Bachelor Australia had
A
bisexual lead.
That's fun.
And I really would want to know how they the structure. of
Don't
that
you
show.
worry, because I found a way to change my VPN so I could watch it.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I would really love
It
to
was
I gotta
know.
great.
watch it too.
I'd
It
really
was
love
a
to know how
great
they pulled
show.
that off.
I have a concept called Les Island where you split everyone up by tops and bottoms.
Love it.
Oh.
So one of the most fun parts about
Versus Get
You have
Out.
the wheels in
I'd
your head
watch.
turning. Tops and bottoms.
Wait, so they're not wearing clothing in the other half?
I gotta think these through. I'm a visual person. I gotta.
No, but one of the best parts about the Bachelorette Australia was when they were doing the limo entrances and people were coming in. One of the women who came in was actually from her past season of The Bachelor. They were both contestants and had thought that they were maybe feeling a little spark, but never acted on it. So she showed
Wow.
up night one. She was like, let's give it a try.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, because it's no way in hell would I say, if I would you know what I mean? If you're a bisexual woman who's vibing with a woman on the show, no way are you going to even go near that.
Well,
I mean, well, I'm gay. I wouldn't be on the show.
we might see a lot more progressive dating, even terminology or just more structures or the willingness to say like, hey, like we've never had even a bisexual lead. And while maybe a gay lead might be more hard to pull off, but bisexual, maybe there's something there that we can still keep the structure of the show.
Right. You don't need to be dating a woman to be a bisexual woman. I will say, like, I know this is going to maybe sound weird for some people who know who I am, but like just to have any kind of representation would be super cool. So, yeah. People sometimes roast people for like dating show formats, but I actually do think it is tricky to reimagine a lot of these shows because it's not just that they're grounded in sexuality, they're grounded in rules. So you do have to like totally be like, just rip the whole thing apart.
It's just a different show.
Start over.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like
they would do it correctly.
Yeah, it would just be a different show that like they should just call it something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Perfect Match was a perfect example of a show where like the format lent itself to like
and Paradise for sure.
Paradise,
like, they could definitely and they had with Demi, but like they could go out of their way to try to cast like why haven't we had a bisexual man before? And openly,
America, are you ready for a bisexual man? Women kissing, America's ready for.
I know.
I don't know.
I would love it.
Bring us a bi king.
Yeah,
please.
But I wonder. I don't know if we'll have that next season. But I wonder if the new people in charge might be more open to that, or will they stay old school?
Yeah, I hope they. I don't give a shit about the sexuality part. Keep it straight. I don't care. I just do want to see more raw, real, emotional situations.
The other thing I want to see is like the contestants being baited a little bit. Like going out when they're on maybe the travel portion, like they've been starved of validation and attention that they are so used to because they're all like the hottest person at their like high school hometown, and then like have some plants who come in and like flirt with them and just kind of like see what happens.
Oh,
you want more manipulation.
Other people of the opposite sex coming in.
Like I'm talking like the locals, or like you just kind of put them in a
locals,
situation.
Phenomenal idea. Get some townies.
Yeah. Some rugged men.
Some Swiss lumberjack.
Yeah, just showing up to the pub.
Yeah, that would be. It's tough, like logistically, psych test, blood test, all those things. If they are a real part of the show, they certainly have included exes and things like that. But yeah, but you're like you want paid actors to tempt people on group dates.
Yeah, and like just like see how flirty they get. Like I don't think logistically they would ever like fuck someone. I don't think that like anybody would do that. On
they could literally. It wouldn't be that hard to hire models.
Oh wait, no.
And
this happened. Wasn't it Hannah Brown's season? And all the guys did that dog shoot, and they had the hair and makeup artist kind of be like, "So, how long have you been on the show? Like,
are you finding versions
love?"
Of that? But it's like a little cheese. But I think we're talking more like
in the wild.
Really sell it. Like really.
This show is psychological torture. Like now that
Literally.
we're producing a fake version of it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to hurt anybody.
No, it's psychological warfare.
Yeah, you really have to be emotionally strong, I think, to get through that stuff and dodge everything.
Yeah,
totally.
That's why I just like I love recapping it and I love snarky jokes, but like we don't know these people, and for all the people,
no
it's
ethical consumption.
When I see the
TV.
TikToks of people like critiquing, and we love talking relationships and dating on the show on like a high level, but like I see people like talking about various like I saw one TikTok where it was about like it was a red flag that Zach gave because it was saying how it was a red flag that Zach talked about how like Gabby and Katie made him feel, and that was a red flag, and I'm thinking, what? Like most people don't consider how people make them feel,
right? Yeah,
and give shitty people way too much runway to treat them like shit because they care too much about like that they're 6'2" or that they're they think they're hot, or they don't think they'll find someone else. And I'm like, are you happy? They're like, not really, So it's just like that people will watch this show and like call Zach like the worst guy to date of all time, where I'm just like, holy shit, like you have no idea.
Anything like that is a project. Any internet comment is a projection of whatever they've got going on in their life at the time.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Why wouldn't you want? I don't know what he said, but like for me, like my girlfriend makes me feel so safe, and I love that.
great.
Like why wouldn't I want someone to make me feel safe?
Yeah,
Mhm.
cared for, prioritized,
Yeah,
valued.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
like
That's
that's
a
way more
hallmark of a good
important than being like,
relationship.
well, I love her because like she has a degree in economics.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, like great. It would sound better as like I love that we'd have intellectual conversations. I love how she makes me feel like
I feel stimulated.
stimulated
yeah.
by her. You
Yeah.
know, like what the fuck. You know. Anyways, people have all sorts of different opinions on the internet.
So are you excited to see Charity as Bachelorette?
Oh my god, I'm excited to just see the show continue.
Okay.
Amazing.
And undercover brother.
That was
I don't hate that idea. They could hire like some really hottie, some we're Bachelorette, Bachelor doesn't matter, but they could hire some hotties that and they can structure group dates, and their group dates are often in the wild, where someone's like an employee at the show, and they're just super fucking the models are flirty as fuck, and you just see who's doing that. And you don't tell the Bachelorette, and you don't even tell the audience. I don't want them to go where the whole thing they did with Charity and her brother, which was like he puts on the stupid fucking wig and the stupid mustache. Like, no, your ABC, your Warner Brothers, get some real fucking makeup artists in there. And if you think these guys might realize it's Charity's brother, then give them a real disguise and see if you can like trick some people, or and don't tell your lead that they are hiring models, and then have them be like, and have one of the guys narc on the other guy who's flirting it up with one of the models. That would be great. I mean, the audience, Bachelor Nation is always like, these are plants. They have all these plants. You know what the show should fucking do? Start having plants. They get accused of it every fucking season. They should start doing it. They don't, but they should.
It's really funny that they had him put on a fake mustache too, as if anyone would come in with a fake mustache.
No, the article that I was reading about it literally described it as a mustache ripped off of Steve Harvey's face, I believe, is how they described it.
Yeah.
But it was clearly a fake mustache. So it's gonna
No one's coming in on night one in a fake mustache.
They could, given that it's night one of The Bachelor and people are coming in all sorts of different things. They could be like, I decided to be goofy and wear a fucking mask because
Maybe.
I don't know, like I like wigs. I don't know. Maybe that's
wig guy in the thing.
Do you wear wigs?
Wig enthusiast.
No, I did not.
Yeah, wig enthusiast. Yeah,
You can see the Chiron now.
I don't know.
That would be iconic if someone's whole shtick as a contestant on The Bachelor was that they were in disguise at all times.
Love
Never
it.
once did they like dress like a normal, like they would typically dress. It was all deception. And it was like, I want them to fall in love with me for who I am. I don't want this to be a fashion competition or something about my looks. But then it's like them in like absurd shit.
Disguise guy.
That would be something. Oh, are you following the Gwyneth Paltrow trial at all?
Oh, I know a little bit about it. I have not been following the trial, but I know that there was a publicity stunt to hide the trial or to like move direction away
They
from
tried
the
to
trial.
hide the trial?
Like the whole thing with Gwyneth saying like, okay, get ready with me. Here's what I drink in the morning. And she's like, I have a cup of coffee and then I don't eat for 3 days.
Yeah, she's like, because she's detoxifying.
Is that a conspiracy theory that she deliberately tried to sabotage herself?
The theory, and I am so not good at pop culture, but the theory is that was to distract from the trial. But in my opinion, why draw any attention to yourself at all?
Yeah, be like, just a reminder, I'm out of touch and I promote eating habits that a lot of people would consider eating disorders for themselves.
I do not buy that theory because, one, to your point, why, if you're going to create a distraction, why would that distraction get you in trouble with the eating disorder community? I don't know. As a publicist, I feel like that's not a beehive that I want to upset.
Right.
It's a very sensitive topic, and rightfully so. And also, like, it's Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's a trial that's being recorded. It's accessible to anyone. How are they going to hide that?
Right.
I don't think you just lean in, I guess. From whatever however little it is, are you team random dude or are you team Gwyneth?
It sounds like both teams are very rich. Well, obviously one team is, but the other team was just rich enough to be able to sue and have a chance to sue Gwyneth Paltrow. So I'm team America is crumbling. Why is this? Why are we watching this? This is a symptom of a society that's falling apart. Two wealthy people just trying to sue the shit out of each other. I don't know. I guess I guess the devil I don't know. The rich, the victims, quote unquote.
Yeah. Well, they did make a full recreation. Like they made models
Did they send people down the mountain?
of like what they think it would have looked like, but it kind of
I'll
like
do it.
cuts out at the good part, but it's like a full.
This is a pretty flat trail.
Who came
Yeah,
up with
well,
it?
this is
it
a
was
bunny
a beginner.
trail.
Is this her
It was
team or
a
his
child
team?
trail?
It was Gwyneth's team,
You can
I'm pretty
tell.
sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what happened? She hit somebody, and now they
Well,
can't
she's
taste
saying
wine
someone
She
anymore.
hit
says
her.
someone hit her.
She says she was hit from behind, and this article from the New York Post ends by saying she originally thought she was being sexually assaulted. So I think for her, this was a really jarring, out of nowhere.
On the slopes? I mean, yes, believe women, it can happen anywhere, but that would take some fucking coordination.
If someone ran
Do you know
into
how
you,
good a skier you have to be?
if someone ran into you on the slopes
There's
At-
a lot
at-
of layers.
at a rate of speed anything more than like 5 miles per hour, it's not going to feel like someone approaching you from behind. You're going to get bumped.
If you can squeeze a butt on your way down the slopes, if you squeeze my butt, okay, that's wrong, and I'm not going to say for anyone else that that's not sexual assault. But for me, all right, good
you
job.
earned
You
it.
got my butt.
Uh,
No comment on that one.
no comment. Uh,
I want that on the soundboard. On the slopes? That's just like I want that on repeat.
but
You got my butt.
I do. Yeah, this guy seems
I'm
like
messing around. Don't pinch my butt on the slopes.
This guy feels like he's full of shit and he's taking advantage of an opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, well,
As
then I'm-
privileged as Gwyneth might be coming across and out of touch with the common man that she seems to be, nevertheless,
right. It's not her. Well, I guess we'll find out if it's her fault.
the best line was like, "Well, I did lose a whole afternoon of skiing, so yeah." Because her lawyer was like, "So did you like this very expensive vacation? Like, were you able to enjoy this? You weren't able to enjoy the rest of your day?" And she literally goes, "Well, I did lose a whole afternoon of skiing, so yes or yep." And then she pierced the lips. It was great.
It is kind of unfortunate because everyone's allowed to go on vacation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and the fact that they are just having their lives just like torn to
And it was
shreds.
so long
It was
ago,
in
too.
2016.
Yeah.
Harry and Emrata are making out. Annoying.
Oh,
At clubs in Tokyo.
Did
Also,
you hear about that?
Oh yes, I do know this one. I didn't know that nickname, but I just put
Emily
it together using
Ratajkowski,
my.
Harry Styles.
Yes.
Yeah.
what did you make of her dating Eric Andre to start there? Just kind of like,
Isn't it great
Comedian.
being a comedian? Comedians always nab the people you never thought would ever be in their league. Always.
yeah.
Good for him.
people
Funny
just want to
people.
laugh.
It's like when Pete Davidson said he didn't realize how ugly he was until people on the street were coming up to him being like, "You did it, bro. Thank you."
Yeah, and he's funny.
Well, here-
But after her string of comedians, it looks like she's back in the like icon, sex symbol, top of so many people's dream
Oh,
list
yeah,
she's
genre.
a dream.
I love it. She's in her fuckboy era,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
which is great. Good
Yeah.
for her. She's
Good for her.
getting out of a divorce. She sounds like she was cheated on. She has every right to date around. She's been linked to Brad Pitt, Harry Styles, some really big hitters. Eric Andre.
Didn't massive hitter.
Yeah.
The biggest.
I don't want to shade him. for,
No.
you know,
I mean,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he knows. I think Eric Andre would be the first person. I don't think he'd be like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Why wouldn't we go?
Why do
Wait,
I fit
Brad
on a
Pitt?
list with Harry
in the
Styles?
Yeah, every comedian is going to be like, yeah, I don't know how this happened.
But to me, this says that Harry Styles checks his DMs.
You don't think he DM'd her?
Maybe they met and exchanged numbers, but like, I think all celebrities, whether they say they do or not, checks their DMs. And I think if Emrata DM'd Harry, he probably would have responded. Unless
They
I
could
don't
have been
know.
following each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's pretty. I mean,
that doesn't
she's
mean
pretty
that doesn't
huge.
mean a DM wasn't sent.
Oh yeah, I was just envisioning like it back in the
But
request folder.
maybe I heard she like went to a Harry Styles concert and sat next to
Olivia Wilde.
Wilde. I don't like to speculate on rumors, but there's been allegations of a connection.
Hmm.
Oh
Um,
my god.
yeah. So
Harry.
who knows? But I like to think that Harry checks his DMs. so that if I
So that your DM will be
so
seen.
eventually he'll respond to mine.
Yeah.
Have you DM'd him?
I have.
Was it good?
How
well,
many times have you DM'd him?
Did you unsend
Twice.
one before you sent the other?
I might have. I
Mhm.
don't know. I've done that. That's for sure. I don't think so because the first time I DM'd him was because he almost ran me over with his car and I was
That's not
running.
true.
And you were like,
That-
this is going to be a lawsuit. It's going to be
And
televised.
I'm pretty sure yeah, right.
And I thought he was trying to bump my butt.
I noticed a guy noticing me, and then I was like, I think that's Harry Styles. And then someone sent a picture of this it was like this black cat. I'm 98% sure it was Harry Styles.
hmm
I want to believe it was Harry Styles.
And you just want to get coffee with him, or
I think, I want to be friends with
does
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles go and get coffee?
I doubt, not with me.
No.
Well, he
Yeah.
drives himself to his own shows.
That's really.
He just shows up in his car. Yeah, there's
That's great.
tons
That
of videos
same
of that.
car
Wow.
that he almost hit me with.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He didn't really. I mean,
He's probably listening now.
Yeah.
I think DM him again.
sure.
Shooter's got to shoot.
I'm determined
you
to
miss
meet,
100% of the
Harry,
shots you don't take.
to meet Harry someday.
Why him specifically?
I saw him at Coachella, and I mean, like a lot of music fans do when they see someone in concert. He's an incredible performer, and I really enjoy his music, and I think he's super cool. Like what he is doing is truly remarkable. I was really taken.
You said he's like a proper rock star
Yeah.
in a way that we haven't had in a while. Was like kind of
It was I've been to other shows where like
An
yeah,
X Factor. A
cool,
charisma.
yeah, it's cool. Like I've seen The Weeknd's like beautiful voice. It's like okay, but like that was an amazing performance, and I'm a fan.
All right.
Yeah.
You want me to DM him?
Sure, yeah, if you have
Maybe
it
I'll
in.
DM him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it. It's
Do
a
you know what
team
you're gonna
effort.
say?
I just want to let you know that a friend of mine thinks you're a great performer.
You may know him.
He's a bit of a man crush
may
on you. He
have
wants to be
almost
your
run him
friend.
over.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
I heard he's a Bachelor fan. He is a Green Bay Packer fan. I'm a Green Bay Packer fan. Just saying.
He's a Green Bay Packer fan?
Yeah,
no way.
he is. He has a Green Bay Packer tattoo.
What?
Yes.
Are you sure it's not something else?
100% a Green Bay Packer. Is Harry Styles a Green Bay Packer fan? Google.
Don't you know it?
Why?
I don't know. I think he
Has
went to a
a
game and it was
tattoo?
like a
Yeah.
British experience
Yeah.
that was cool or
And it's like Wisconsin and cheese.
and it's
Very
kind,
American.
it's an iconic kind
Yeah.
of franchise
Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has a G logo on the inside of his arm, right above the elbow, after losing a wager with his friends. So it seems like he genuinely loved the Packers.
He didn't want it.
and then
But
he made a bet,
I'm guessing
and then he followed through.
he's not a Packer fan like I'm a Packer fan, but he went to like Lambeau Field or met Aaron Rodgers and was like, and then when people ask him what's his favorite American football team,
Sure.
he says the Packers, and then
he's like, this one right here.
yeah. I don't think he's as invested in the Aaron Rodgers trade to the Jets as I am, but I digress. I don't know. Maybe he is, and I'll want to talk about it with you, Harry, if you're listening.
You guys should start a sports podcast together.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't
Actually.
tempt him with a good time.
You tease. I think
That would be your fanfic. Would be you and Harry Styles doing talking Green Bay Packers.
Someone write it, send it in. I don't know if you
Please.
guys read emails.
No, yeah, please ask Nick at
Send us your fanfic
theviallfiles.com,
about
put
Nick and Harry.
There you
Nick
go.
Harry
Nick
fanfic in the
Sports.
Do we have
subject
anything
line.
to get into before we let Ashley go?
I mean, we can talk about Scandival, the
Oh,
latest.
what's the latest on that?
So-
Are you following the Vanderpump at all?
This one is really out of my depth, but I've read some of
How-
the
have you-
apologies.
Now, I haven't watched this is my first season watching. Plan to go back and watch the rest.
I've never watched, but I will start if you guys tell me to.
I've never watched. If you want mess, I'm going to sell you right here. So
Okay.
like The Bachelor, we love, it's great. They have some good drama, Sex Week, but a lot of the people, especially, is it fun to watch young, messy people? Sure. But sometimes young, messy people are just like, all they are is messy. There's not a lot of complexity
Mhm.
and layers to their drama or trauma, et cetera, et cetera. And Vanderpump is a show that like just has a bunch of people who have been on TV for like 10, 15 years, some of which have been part of scandals in the past, have done the cheating, and it's all these real life situations. And some people have matured and healed, others have not. And there's just these affairs, and it's like, it's good. It's meaty.
I'm not going to say who, but I am connected via my childhood to grew up in New York, a Real Housewife of New York. and I knew her before she did the show, and I met her about a year ago again. And oh my God, that is not the same human being. That changed her in a profound way. Profound.
To be, like people, I always get asked, it's like one of those like, red carpet questions that Us Weekly would be like, so would you ever do your TV show? Like no one's asking me to do a TV show, but like they always like, would you ever with your girlfriend? And it's like, no, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the structure is, but like a TV show about your life and just where like you have to be dramatic to be interesting and you have to have issues to resolve. And that's my fascination with Vanderpump because like I've gotten to know some of the people and that I quite like and I really enjoy. And I haven't even asked them this because it's like and when I watch it, I don't even know if they know where like reality and the show bleed over with the choices they make for their life.
Yeah.
And where, Bachelor's is kind of fucked up bubble and psychological warfare. It's like, it is a bubble that you like leave and you're like, oh, reality, where if you're filming an ongoing show about your life and it just like kind of follows you along by like season 3 or 4, you have to come up with shit. And then I feel like by season 5 or 6, you don't know the difference between why you picked this fight versus, was it for the show or am I actually mad or why am I making this choice? Is it, I'm so fascinated by why they do what they do and how like in the psychology behind it. It's really good.
Yeah. No, maybe I'll give it a shot. Part of that scares me a little bit. That's why The Bachelor is kind of safe. These people get out.
Yeah.
Well,
I will
they're
say
freed.
You could start season 10 and be hooked.
The thing that sold me on season 1, I didn't realize that the fundamental premise is everyone in a restaurant is fucking. Like that is the show. Is like everyone in a restaurant's fucking. There's always so much drama. Let's film them. They're all also aspiring actors. Like there's just like baked into the premise this like inherent drama versus like with other reality shows where there's some kind of like format or something that gives you like reality world. Like this show is like constantly breaking the fourth wall and was like born from such like authentic fuckery that like it's blossomed into a magnitude of fuckery.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really fascinating. But anyways, I'm a fan. What's the update?
Tom Sandoval wants to make it work with Raquel.
Of course he does.
And so we saw photos from them like during the
A man
reunion.
who can't possibly be alone for a moment.
Yeah, and who's on everyone's
Is he the one
shit
cheating on
list.
everybody?
Yeah.
Also, did you see that he and Raquel got dinner, I guess, after the filming of the reunion? He like took her to some restaurant and it was the same restaurant he took Ariana to celebrate their 9-year anniversary.
I'm already like, what is wrong with this person?
So many things.
Why would you ever,
Well,
if you're gonna cheat, right? This is a person
Take
you
her
cheated
to a
with.
different restaurant.
Maybe, different spot.
he doesn't seem to be particularly bright, but I love telling this story that for those who don't know, and most people who are listening to this episode know, but you would learn this if you watch the show, but this is the guy who at 39, that sounded aggressive. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. I'll watch the fucking show. Jesus.
I was saying that to the listener, like who's watched the show and asking me why I'm repeating the story, but that was aggressive.
No, I'm messing around.
We're riffing. So Tom Sandoval, 39-ish years old, started a band where he just like is hiring people to play and practice with him for the sole purpose of like playing cover songs so that 20 or 30 like fans on a Friday night he can like get attention from.
Okay.
That's
lame.
That's who he is.
Okay.
And I just think that's all you need to know.
You got to be one hell of a musician to pull off the like band name format of like one name and group of something.
Well, you can do that when you're like, I'm starting a band and I'm paying. You're not like, hey, we should start a band. We love music. It's like I'll give you $50 an hour to play with me.
Yeah.
And perform with me. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like there's one thing about
and it's
musicians.
not to become an artist. It's just to play in front of crowds.
Did anyone hear the clip of him? He recently performed the song "I'm Gonna Be," the like 500 Miles song, and did it in a fake Scottish accent.
When I wake up.
I mean,
no,
he definitely. I don't think he takes himself that seriously, which might be part of his problem. But I'm sure he's just having fun.
He did not deliver it in a humorous way.
You think he was
really?
serious?
He was in earnest.
Yes.
He was earnest.
Yes.
Is there video of this?
Yes.
That was weird.
And the thing everybody says about like British singers is like you can't even hear the accent. Like, you know, like most people's singing voices are not.
Right. I was going to do an Adele riff, but it wouldn't have made sense because you can't tell. This is really the one song. Yeah.
Gonna be the man. I can't even do it.
That honestly, that was better than what he did. No paid musicians.
Anyway, so he wants to date Raquel.
Yeah.
He and his shiny pants.
Is Raquel the
other woman?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. 10 years younger. Recently had to exit the pageant world
and I'm
because
assuming,
she aged out.
I'm assuming the wife wants nothing to do with this guy anymore, or the girlfriend.
Yeah, I believe it's I don't know if clean break, but it appears as though she's definitive departure from the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, shocking.
It doesn't seem as though a reconciliation is in the cards.
Everyone knows this story.
Yeah. In the mid-season trailer, he said, do you want anything? As he's like in the kitchen, and she goes, for you to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should start watching.
She's powerful.
Shit.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about it with you. I just want to DM you.
Okay, I'll start watching.
And
Yeah.
Start a
you
group
go.
DM with
Was
Harry
that
Styles. See if he
Oh,
participates.
yeah.
Yeah.
We should do a three-way chat.
Yes.
And it's just you guys going off.
Yeah,
like
back and forth. And like, Harry, you're missing every once in a while we just check in. Harry, you're missing out.
Actually, I'm going to start a group chat right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a
I'm not
tiebreaker,
even
Harry.
joking.
Come on.
And you call it Vanderpump/Bachelor Discourse.
This
I'll
is
do it.
amazing.
Can't wait.
All right.
All right. When you're done, and then we'll have you plug
I'm
all
doing
your
it.
stuff.
Oh yeah, I should plug it. This is one of the whole reasons I'm here, I suppose. But this was honestly so much fun.
Yeah, it was absolutely a ton of fun.
I know that like this is gonna sound cheesy, but like this really meant a lot to me.
Oh.
Because I'm in my own little corner of the internet, and obviously like I'm doing well for myself or whatever, but like you often get in your head as like, am I just gonna be that thing, you know, forever? So to be here and just like talking about something totally just like one teeny part of my life, that I love, which is The Bachelor, and I've been watching you forever, and I listen to the podcast is great. Like, thank you so much for having me. Like,
Well,
it really,
thanks for coming. We loved having
felt
you.
super
Yeah, welcome
validating.
back anytime.
This podcast made me feel safe. This podcast makes me feel loved
and that's okay.
secure,
Yeah.
and that's okay to
And that's
say.
okay. That's not a red flag.
That's not a red
No.
flag at
Yeah.
all.
No.
I have a
That's
special
all.
coming out. It's free if you thought I was funny for 2 seconds, it's going to be free on YouTube. Just go to my YouTube, just put in Ashley Gavin, hit subscribe, turn on the notifications. It comes out on April 23rd. And yeah, the internet is like kind of where comedy's happening right now.
Amazing. And then like TikTok, I know you're big. Where can people follow you?
Oh yeah, if you just search Ashley Gavin, my handle is AshGavs on everything. Go and give me a follow. And I tour all over the place, you know, no matter where you are. There's some theater or club that I'm going to come and do. So I'll send you a text when I'm in your city. If you go to just go to my bio on any social media or ashleygavin.com.
I love the TikToks that you take when you're on tour of like the interactions you have with fans and everything. Like she's a great follow, folks. Really, really worth it.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, come back anytime, especially if you start watching Vanderpump, and you and Harry as well.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
I'm
great.
not even
Oh my
done
God,
yet.
yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to send in those questions at asknick@theviallfiles.com for all things Ask Nick and texting office hours. Don't forget, we have Katie Maloney back on Tuesday for freestyle kicking off now that we're in the off season. We got another episode of Better Date Than Never tonight live, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're talking what? Getting caught? Getting caught by, I don't know, exes, or I think there's going to be a lot of parents getting caught stories, but maybe at work. I don't know, but getting caught. Anyways, if you're lonely or bored or want to make some friends, maybe move to a new city, you don't know anyone, the group chat pops off on the show. It's turned into a great community of people, very supportive. If you ever have a date you want to break down with us or want to get some live advice, make sure you tune in and join. It's a ton of fun. Update episode is out tomorrow. That's not behind Viall Files Plus. It is available to all. The update special we do every month. If you are dying for more updates, we do 2 every month in addition to the one we're dropping tomorrow behind Viall Files Plus. Again, if you can't listen live to Better Date Than Never, all the episodes are also available behind Viall Files Plus. Plus, we get into the weeds tomorrow of Love. Do you watch Love Is Blind?
Yes, I do.
Are
Yes,
you watching season 4?
Watching. Yeah.
Any hot takes?
Oh my.
No, it's not a hot take, but this is, I mean, like,
It's really good.
Some of the most childish behavior I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Holy
great
shit.
TV. Yeah.
Wonderful TV. Get help.
What do you think of Zach, though?
Which one's that? Oh, yeah. I haven't noticed anything that he's said specifically, but the vibe is kind of off. He's a kind of a weirdo, but like,
I think
is that a problem? I don't really know.
It's like he might not be your person. He might be a little goofball, a little weirdo, but I feel like I can confidently say about Zach that I can't say about anyone else other than Tiffany and Brett, because they seem like in a league of their own. They're a healthy, happy couple. And congratulations to them both. And separating those two, Zach and everyone else, Zach's the only one that I could confidently say to the right person, he's going to make a great partner.
Yeah, I think he's really like committed to finding someone. He
seems patient and empathetic.
He's just an oddball.
Just an oddball. But all these other people, oh my God.
Insufferable. Truly insufferable cast.
Oh. And just like, yeah, the confidence that they have in themselves.
I'm about to sound so fucked up, okay? What I'm going to say is I know that I sound fucked up. I am a comedian. This is what I would say as a comedian in a bit context. The way they get people of just the exact attractiveness, like level of life experience, the most just slightly above average people in the one cast but they all are like so hot from their town. They're so hot from their town, with exceptions. There's some people in there that were true stars, like you said. But like, man, you do not have the right to be this cocky.
No.
You are so regular, dude.
But it's so fun to watch. It's so good.
It's like watching like middle management go on a power trip.
It's
like, you're
exactly
not the fucking
what
CEO.
it is. That's exactly what it is. Sit the fuck down.
Anyway,
you are nothing.
We will be getting into the weeds of the first batch of episodes of Love is Blind tomorrow in our pop culture roundup behind Viall Files Plus. So be sure to check that out. If you haven't signed up already, it's a free 7-day trial. Go to viallfiles.com, tap a couple buttons, and away you go.
And in addition to that deep dive, we'll also be covering out a little bit when we have Phoebe Robinson next week for ongoing deep dive.
God.
So next week, Phoebe Robinson will be here to go over, we'll be talking about the season, not necessarily episode by we'll be less granular, but it'll be more high-level discourse, but it will still be a lot of fun, and that will be available to all. Ashley, again, thank you so much for coming. A ton of fun. We hope to have you back. Go check out Ashley's show, and we will see you back tomorrow for a new update special. Peace. See you. Goodbye. Bye, everyone.